Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope you guys are staying at home and not going anywhere if you don't need to. And if you're going outside, don't forget to wash your hands every time or sanitize wherever possible and avoid as much contact to other people as possible. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about studying for final exams in medical school. Yes, the last exams. So what makes this last exams very tricky is because in my university what happens is that we leave school for a year and go to any hospital or institution for a year to do our internship before we graduate. Then we have to, in the normal circumstances, we have to go back to China and then write our graduation exam. But this year things are a bit different, as we know, because of the coronavirus. And with that in place, what happens is now I have to be studying everything that I've done during my internship and this and that from way back. So with that 1 year of no school, it's a bit tricky writing the final exams because when you're doing internship, you don't really have time, a lot of time to study. You come back home tired, you try and study and so forth. But what I try to do is that every day when I come back from hospital, I at least spend 2 to 3 hours studying everything that I learned from the hospital and adding at least one new thing every time. So it puts me at a higher level to someone who just comes back home and doesn't study. So closer to my final exam, what I did, I stopped going to the hospital completely and focused on my studies. And I was studying with my usual, my iPad Pro and my iPad Pencil, using my laptop, studying notes, and I also had to go refer to all the old PPTs from third year, fourth year. And one of the crazy things is that almost every country has different guidelines. So for example, in Botswana, according to the guidelines, when someone is between 24 weeks and 37 weeks, it's premature labor. Whereas in China, it's something different. When someone is at least 28 weeks to 37 weeks, that's when it's premature labor. So in the exam, it can be a bit tricky when you're putting in the numbers and you end up putting, you know your work, but you just confused the numbers based on the guidelines of that country. So getting back to that system was a little bit tricky, and I always had to go back to my notes and refer, which made everything more tedious. So with that in mind, what I also started doing, I made sure that I printed, guys, please don't judge me. I know I'm a paperless student, but this was one of the most important exams, and really paperless student wasn't working at that moment, and I needed to have paper in my hand. So I printed most of the question books, and I started doing them when I was in bed, when I was going to the bathroom, when I was cooking, everywhere. Started revising, and they helped big time. And during the exams, I literally used everything. I imagine I've never used Anki before, but during this final exam, I started using Anki. I actually started noticing that Anki is actually a nice, good platform to use for active recall, because what you do, you type the questions and it strategically gives you the questions back in the form of a flashcard, and then if you answer it wrong, it will come back. You choose for how long, how many days do you want to repeat the question. It's really a cool app too. I literally tried Anki for that. I actually used Najib. I used to use Najib, but not almost for everything. But this time I used Najib for almost everything. I used osmosis. I even signed up for osmosis. Most of the time I just use the YouTube channel, but this time I signed up for the trial 7 days before the exam. I used prognosis app. When I'm in bed, I played the medical games, the cases. I literally did everything for my exam. And well, it did pay off. And I was also asking questions from people when I don't understand. I wasn't ashamed to say, "Guy, I don't know, help me. I forgot, help me." I always made sure that I did that. So I think that came in quite handy. So that's basically what I did for the exams. And because we were not sure about the exam date, you had to be ready almost every day, because they would say, they'll tell us ahead of time, but ahead of time can be 2 days, 3 days, you never know. But they gave us a date, which was almost 2 weeks before the exam. I started going back to my old note and revising from there until the day of the exam. And I went and I wrote the exam, and everything actually went quite well. The exams that we have to write or study for is medicine, pediatrics, gynecology and surgery. Gynecology and surgery, it was really tricky, and it was the only common thing that was there was ectopic pregnancy. Apart from that, it was totally different, but thank God everything went well and we fully passed, and now I can say a medical graduate. I'm done with school. Well, I'm done for now, because you know, with medicine, there's never the end of studying. You study every day and you just keep on going. Medicine is a practice, so every day you learn something new, and you have to accept when you don't know, and try and accustom yourselves to new methods of treating, of teaching, and don't be shy to say, "I do not know." And hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a good one, and don't forget, stay safe, stay at home. Don't encourage the spread of the coronavirus, and don't forget, sanitize, wash your hands, don't go anywhere if you don't have to. Hope you guys have a good one, and till next time, cheers.
Lifetime, just relate all about it that will need.